Thanks for staying with us on Live from Paris. It's time now for a look at the business news, and Marcus Carlson joins me for that. Hello there, Marcus. First up, the credibility of the virtual currency Bitcoin is in the spotlight, isn't it?
Hi there, Catherine. Yes, you're completely right. That credibility seems to have taken a real hit, and the value of a Bitcoin has tumbled. This is the Bitcoin exchange Mt. Gox went dark earlier this Tuesday. On its website, users are now met with a message that all transactions are halted for the time being. Mt. Gox was once the dominant platform to buy and sell Bitcoins, but there are fears that a security breach made the site insolvent. Delano D'Souza has more.
Click and then nothing. That was what users on Mt. Gox saw once they logged into one of Bitcoin's largest exchanges. This is another blow to the Tokyo-based exchange after it halted withdrawals indefinitely on the 7th of February, citing a cyber attack. In search of answers, one Bitcoin trader flew to Tokyo to find out where his money's gone.
I had 311 Bitcoins in there, which at the time of before this started was worth around $300,000. So it looks like that's disappeared.
It's reported that 750,000 Bitcoin were deposited with Mt. Gox. That's a value of around $365 million. This week, the Mt. Gox CEO resigned from the board of the Bitcoin Foundation, a trade group that promotes the adoption of the digital currency. In an interview last year, he admitted investing in Bitcoin was risky.
Bitcoin would quite qualify as a high-risk investment. If you buy Bitcoin, you should buy with keeping in mind that the value could be zero the day after. There's no guarantee, there's nothing behind Bitcoin trying to keep the market value high.
In November, one Bitcoin was worth over $900. Its value today is around $450. The latest news from Mt. Gox demonstrates the challenges faced with the world's fastest growing currency in a market with no regulation.
Next up, it will take until at least Thursday before Ukraine gets a new government. The interim president says more consultations are needed after the departure of Viktor Yanukovych over the weekend. At the same time, there are fresh warnings that Ukraine will go bankrupt without outside financial assistance. Officials say that the country needs as much as $35 billion over the next 2 years. Western leaders and the International Monetary Fund have signaled that they are ready to step in. But as Tatiana Orlova from RBS explained to us earlier, there may be some strings attached.
We do not know who is going to be in the next Ukrainian government, but any government which comes to power in Ukraine at this moment will face a very difficult task because the IMF will likely repeat some of its requirements, such as hikes in regulated gas tariffs for the population, fiscal reform. And these requirements will probably be very hard to implement in the conditions when the economy is already very weak.
That was Tatiana Orlova once again speaking to me earlier. We're going to take a look at the stock markets next. In the United States, the indices closed with some losses. After Thursday's session, markets are seen to be taking a little bit of a breather after hitting fresh highs on Monday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was down modestly, around about 0.2%. In Europe earlier, the indices also closed in negative territory. Mining stocks in particular weighed on the FTSE in London. They came under pressure on fears that China's appetite for basic resources will come down. Let's take a look at some other company news. The American bank JP Chase is speeding up a cost-cutting drive. As part of those efforts, it says it will reduce the number of employees by 5,000 to 260,000. The lender's consumer and community banking arm will take a harsh hit. As customers are using the internet more and more to bank, JP is also seen to be scaling back its branch expansion plans. Oil company Repsol is drawing a line under its standoff with Argentina. The Spanish firm is accepting a $5 billion offer to compensate it for the nationalization of YPF. YPF was seized back in 2012 as Argentina accused its owner Repsol of not living up to its obligations. It soured relations between Spain and Argentina, and it also tarnished Argentina's investment image. And a war of words is heating up between a French minister and European competition authorities. Speaking earlier in Paris, France's Minister of Industrial Renewal, Arnaud Montebourg, compared the European Commission with the Taliban. He said the competition watchdog should be dismantled since it's too extreme in its rulings. Montebourg said it's hindering European companies from competing globally. Pretty harsh words there from Arnaud Montebourg. And with that, I'm going to throw it back to you, Catherine, for the rest of the news.
All right, thanks very much indeed, Marcus Carlson, our business editor.